Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I have a layout for you using this collection from Basic Grey called Hopscotch. Again, a super old collection. I'm going to be using this Creating Keepsakes page kit. I picked these up at a scrapbook garage sale or D-stash, and so you'll see it over to the side. I really like the way that this layout came together. I used some of the things from it, and then obviously my photo placements are a little bit different, just because I had more photos than what the layout called for. But I loved the way that this layout came together. It just, again, I think I've said it every time I've used Basic Grey. I miss Basic Grey. I think that it was a really awesome collection kits, and they need to come back, or at least somebody needs to bring back that type of style. So these kits had like everything in it, including the background paper. So, you know, I usually tend to stick to white background just because it's the easiest and I don't have to worry about trying to find paper. But I really like this like cream color. It really goes really well with the photo or the paper that's in this. I did go ahead and cut one of my photos out in a oval shape. I don't do that a lot. I have the cutters for it, but it just seems to be like something that I don't think about. And this particular layout called for a oval photo, so I went ahead and was like, let me just go ahead and do it. And again, I like that contrast of the oval photo next to all of the square photos. The inspiration piece, or the sketch, I guess you could call it, calls for you to kind of lay these papers down on the left-hand side. And I love the contrast between that coral color and the teal color. And then it also calls for using those border strips, which I just don't ever use in a collection, but I love the way that this came out. And the collection also came with this embroidery thread, which I haven't used in a long time in this manner. Like, I've cut things with embroidery thread, but what this called for was to just add a strip, staple it down on the top and the bottom, and then add a bow to the piece after you've stapled it down. It just gives it a lot of dimension without a lot to it. I don't know how else to explain that, but I just love the way that it came out. So I ended up putting two border strips over to the left-hand side, and then I'm going to work on the right-hand side. It calls for a 12 by 12 piece of paper, which this is very different than what I'm used to. Usually I'm going to cut paper that's like the same size all the way across, but this called for the paper to be 9 inches on the left hand side and then a full 12 inches over on the right hand side. So again, not something that I would do, but I love the way that this layout came out. It's really awesome. So it calls for the 12-inch strip of 2 pieces of pattern paper, and then it also calls for a border strip that comes from the sticker sheet. So I had these 4 photos. 2 of them are 4x6, 2 of them are 3x4, and I didn't like the way that the 3x4 photos didn't cover the full size. So I went ahead and just cut this piece from the scrap of the left to bring that over. I'm actually going to cover that up quite a bit, and you can't really see a whole lot of it, but it just gives it enough that it's not like a naked piece there. So the 2 3x4s, I went ahead and just left them together. I didn't even bother to cut them apart. I did put them on fun foam. I moved them over a little bit to showcase that coral color so that I could get more of that pattern paper, and it just comes over just a little bit on that blue paper. Since I cut that photo in an oval, I decided to go ahead and mount that in an oval as well. So I went ahead and cut that out of like a cream color piece that was in there as well. This big circle, I would have never used it this way. It was just like, put the circle down in the middle of the paper, and not really my style. But once I started to fill all the pieces in, I like the way that that came out. So I went ahead and added this journaling block down at the bottom so that she can add her journaling later. These photos are of my friend's daughter. And when I give her the layout, it gives her an opportunity to write whatever she wants. In these photos, she is playing with like silks. I think that that's what they're called. They're just called silks, and they have like a strap on the end for you to hold on to. When you wave your arms around, it just gives it this beautiful design. And it's so cool to watch. And so these pictures probably aren't the best. Some of them are blurry, but it really gets the point across that like she doesn't care. Like, she's just having fun, and it is an awesome time for her. So I did go ahead and add another piece of string over to the far right hand side, and I went ahead and did the same technique where I stapled it. I did put it behind the pieces there, so you can't even see the left-hand side of it, but I stapled it and then added a little knot instead of a bow on that side. This collection piece also came with a bunch of just random buttons and jewels and things like that, so I'm just adding those to the clusters. I also pulled out my little paper flowers. I don't have a lot of paper flowers, but I saw them over to my side and I was like, oh, this little yellow color is perfect. It kind of matches all the yellow that's in here, or cream color, I guess. And so I went ahead and added that down and then added a sticker on top of it to give it that little centerpiece of the flower. So my title is going to be Dance Like No One Is Watching. And so I did the Like No One Is Watching on little tile stickers and I put them up on fun foam. And then the word dance was like this big, bold chipboard piece. And so I like having that real big piece of the word dance and then the smaller piece of like no one is watching. It almost kind of goes with the title, like dance like no one is watching, kind of almost in a whisper. All right, so here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. I hope that you are enjoying all of these videos that I've been able to get up for you. If you are, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.